up close was special.
And talking about under pressure, a quick follow-up for the matches that were kind of in the middle, or JJ, or Scotty, or Xander, were you looking at the leaderboard? Were you paying attention to what was happening there?
I mean, Captain had a message for us to just worry about our own point. Obviously, it was hard not to peak when there were some USA chants ripping through the property. So, but for the most part, you know, Captain's message to us was to focus on our point and nothing else. Whether you look at the board or not, however you operate is how you're supposed to do it. So that was kind of the mentality that I think all of us carried today.
We'll stay there on 2 with Sean.
For Justin, you had one of the early matches, and I imagine some of the most adrenaline of your life coming off of 18. Like, in the moments that follow, it just felt like something was building. So, like, what is going through your head? What are you telling your teammates? How are you deciding where to go to watch more golf? I felt like I saw you on 3 different holes. What is that like?
Yeah, I'm definitely good walking up that hill on 18. I did that enough today, but yeah, it's really hard to explain how fast. I mean, not only the week, but just the day goes. And I think I was maybe behind my putt, about to go into it on 17 when I assumed Cam made his. I heard a roar and I backed off, and then to see that he had won his match, and then it was like, okay, you know, it just is one of those things. Like, yeah, we all deep down, I'm sure we felt like we could, but in reality, you look at it, it is what it is. But it just like Keegan said, everything just kept happening and happening and happening, and you know, you're just, the next match is the most important when you're in a position like we were going into today, and it was just important to get whoever was the closest to winning their match through, and it just kept happening and happening, and yeah, it was so cool to be a part of.
Up to Mike 6.
Hey, Keegan, what went into the decision to, with the course setup, particularly the short rough? What kind of did the data and your team set up for that short rough?
Yeah, I mean, we tried to set the course up to help our team. Obviously, it wasn't the right decision. You know, I think anytime you're the leader of a team, or you're the captain or the coach or whatever, we talked about this last night, you have to take, you're going to get the accolades, and you need to take the blame for when things don't go well. And I definitely made a mistake on the course setup. I should have listened a little bit more to my intuition, and we, for whatever reason, that wasn't the right way to set the course up. We didn't expect the greens to be this soft. They were as soft as I've ever seen greens without it raining, and then, you know, especially here, you know, it can get pretty firm, and they never firmed up.
You said your intuition. Did the data say to cut the rough?
No, I mean, we sat, or I did, and looked at a lot of info, and we thought this was the best way to set the golf course up to win. You look at past Ryder Cups, and that's kind of how it goes. But you know, sometimes you got to make a decision on what to do. And you know, if I could go back, I probably would have changed that. But you know, the Europeans played just incredible golf. Doesn't matter how you set the course up when you play that well and you perform at that high level. I mean, that's as high of a level as a Ryder Cup team has ever played on for those 2 days, I think. And you know, when that happens, they just beat you sometimes.
Up to Mike 10, please.
Hi, Keegan. You talked yesterday about some of the Super Bowls and, the comebacks that told you that this was possible. I just wondered when you sort of gave that message to your team, what reaction you saw from your players that sort of reinforced that belief that this could be possible.
Yeah, I think I'll tell you what. We were talking with the vice captains last night when everyone went to bed that the team really believed they could win. Like I was honestly pretty surprised. I was on a team that got smoked, and we did not have that feeling. And when we went to bed, I was just astonished at how these guys were like, we're going to win this. And they believed it. They weren't just saying it. And, you know, I could see the belief in their eyes. I could see it this morning. I could see their body language. Like, these guys they weren't moping around. They were ready to go out there and win and play their hardest, and they did that.
Kyle, go ahead.
Yeah. Keegan, I know you haven't had a ton of time to reflect on just the last year and a half and everything that led into this, but when you think about that, is there anything that you would change or do different in terms of not just for your captaincy, but like for future captaincies that you would advise future captains to maybe go about differently in the lead up to the Ryder Cup?
No, I mean, I'm 3 seconds to 20 minutes after, losing. I haven't put much thought into it. I do, I had to learn a lot on the fly. I had to rely on a lot of people. I was going up against, an incredible team, and, in my eyes, I think he's the best European Ryder Cup captain of all time, Luke Donald. And, I did the best that I could, and trying to balance playing. But it's the most fun thing I've ever done in my life. I wouldn't trade any of this for a second. I woke up every day excited to do this. It turned me into a different person that I am today, that I'm very thankful for these guys for.
Up to Todd.
Keegan, right here. I know Victor was injured and Harris unfortunately had to set out. This has been a long tradition in the captain's agreement. Would you wish that this would be looked at to maybe find an alternative if a player is injured moving forward?
Yeah, it has to change.
Do you have any ideas?
I have a few ideas, but I'm not going to tell you right now. But I mean, the rule has to change. I mean, I think it's obvious to everybody in the sports world, in this room. Nothing against Victor, but that rule needs to change by the next Ryder Cup.
Over to here, both of you on 13.
Gentlemen, obviously not the outcome you were looking for, but I'm just curious if each and every one of you guys realize truly how proud the American fans are of you guys and the performance you put on today. Do you guys have a sense of that, what's going on the other side?
There were definitely a lot less Olays out there today. A lot more USAs, which was nice to hear.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly felt it. These guys are probably too focused on what they were doing because, these New York crowds are tough, and they had every right to be pissed off at us for, being down and being at their course and not performing at what they felt like. And quite frankly, I was nervous about today. But when, New York fans and hardworking people and, people that grew up around here see people playing with that sort of heart and that sort of passion and that sort of grit of not giving up, they get behind that pretty quick.
Question for Justin. Justin, you were active yesterday in whipping up the crowd before the game against Rory and Shane Lowry, and you witnessed the abuse that was dished out to them. And you also saw, I'm sure, that there were police dogs brought in and there were extra state troopers. How close do you think we're getting to a position where the safety of golfers, both US golfers and European golfers, is in danger?
I mean, I don't think anybody's safety was necessarily in danger. I understand what you're saying. I mean, words hurt too. There's definitely some nasty things said, but I don't think anybody was necessarily fearing for their life or was in any kind of situation where they were going to get hurt. But yeah, I think it's anybody that was out there could pretty blatantly tell you that there were some things said. And yeah, it was. I mean, I said it to Cam and I said it to Shane and Rory yesterday that we felt for him. It was it was unfortunate, and Cam and I just wish that we gave them something to cheer for instead of people to cheer against. I think that was kind of the main consensus of the last 2 days, and we weren't giving them enough to cheer for, and they were just trying to help us win. But I guess that's the New York fans for you.
Up to Paul on 18.
Scotty, back here, just wondering the range of emotions you went through this week, obviously ending it on a positive, but struggling through the first couple days.
Yeah, I mean, emotions of the week. I think you're always really excited to get these types of events started. Keegan and our vice captains put us in a position to succeed. They did everything that was asked of them, and I had extreme confidence in what this team could do. And that's due to our captain. I think they did an amazing job. Keegan did an amazing job, and I mean, my emotions yesterday afternoon when the matches ended, I think it's hard to put into words how much it hurts to lose all 4 matches, to have the trust of my captain and my teammates to go out there and play all 4 matches and lose all 4. It's really hard to put into words how much that stings and hurts. And I'll go back and reflect on that. But one of the coolest things was these guys picking me up last night, and the guys on this team. This is a really special group of guys. We have a special captain, and I was proud to be standing there fighting with these guys today. And I think it showed a lot about our team. I think it showed a lot about the job that all these guys did to put us in a position to succeed. And I can't tell you how much fun it was watching Bryson in front of me hitting those putts, coming back from 5 down, walking down 17 and seeing JT hold that putt, walking down 16, hearing the roar for Cam. I can't tell you how much I needed these guys this week, and it's just a really special group, and it was probably one of the lowest moments of my career, but it turned out to be one of the most special just because I've got great friends in this room, and was really proud to be battling with these guys for 3 days.
Right here, Alan.
This is for Keegan. You mentioned how much you had to learn on the fly. Europe always stresses continuity from their captains, their vice captains, their statisticians, the whole operation. What do you think the PGA of America could do better, foundationally, to put the next captain in a stronger position to succeed?
Well, first off, the PGA of America put me in an amazing position to succeed. They gave me every resource. They gave me every option. I had everything at my fingertips. This is no one's fault but mine. When you're the leader of the team and you're the coach, the captain, whatever you want to call it, and you lose, you have to take the blame. This is no one else's fault. This is no one else's PGA of America or whatever it is. Sometimes you go up in sports, you go up against an opponent that sometimes beats you, and they play better, and they play better than us. We gave it a great fight, that's for sure, but everybody put me in the best position to succeed. It was a unique approach. And I had, like I said, I had to learn on the fly. But I had also been on a lot of these teams, and I had the resources of all the vice captains, but all the previous captains as well that helped me. And I think what the goal was to give the captaincy a fresh face of a different way to go about things. And unfortunately, it didn't work out. But we have some momentum going forward. I think we can continue down this road, and I'll help out the best I can to help the next captain or the next whoever it is.
Art, go ahead.
Yeah, Scotty, could you just talk a little bit about what today's match meant to you after the rough weekend? Randy was saying he thought you had tears in your eyes on 18, and you played other singles matches, but what that match meant to you to come out with the win against world number 2 after the weekend you'd had?
Yeah, well, I think when I go back and look at the first couple of days of this tournament, at times it felt like a perfect storm of things were happening against us. And then today, we had some stuff that seemed to go right. And really, at the end of the match, I was just proud to be able to get a point up on the board. Like you said, it was a difficult week for me personally. And I was just proud to get a point up on the board and keep this thing alive for a little bit longer. And I can't speak enough to the fight that these guys have in this room. The battle that we, after the butt whooping we got the first 2 days of this tournament, to come back today and play like we did, I think really shows a lot of heart. I think it shows a lot of spirit within our team room. And like I said, I'm really proud of these guys, and I was proud to be able to keep this thing going for a little bit longer.
It was the first ever 1 and 2 matchup in a Ryder Cup singles match before. In your mind, does that signify this year and what you've accomplished, and really solidifies for yourself what your position is in the golf world?
I don't really think about that stuff very often. Like I said, I was just proud to be able to get a point up on the board. We needed to get some red up on the board early, and we were able to do that. And I think everybody was surprised how good of a scare we gave the Europeans today. And they had a tremendous first 2 days. The amount of putts I saw go in. They played amazing golf the first 2 days of this tournament. That's why they're the winners. And for us, like I said, I'm proud of the fight and the spirit in this room. These guys were amazing. Our whole team. This was an amazing team, and I'm obviously pretty gutted to not be sitting here as the winning Ryder Cup team. But at the end of the day, Keegan, our vice captains, the PGA of America, everybody put us in a position to succeed. And at the end of the day, just wasn't able to get it done.
Over to Shane.
Over here, question for Keegan or Scotty or Russell. Really small question, but I noticed on Friday and Saturday a different player teed off on number 1, and was just curious what went into switching that.
I'll just keep it rolling. Russell and I felt like with the way the golf course had changed, we had anticipated the golf course playing a certain way, and then things changed for us. Kind of when you see it in competition, I think it was more important for us to have a little bit more length off the tee. And then Russell, with the way he hits his irons, felt like we had a better chance with his lower ball flight of getting the ball in close. That was really all it came down to. It was just really seeing the golf course in competition as we were playing it. When we got done on Friday night, Teddy and Andy, when I went down in the team room to go cold tub, they were sitting there at the table and they had brought up the idea of us switching. And the more that they kind of looked at it, we felt pretty strongly that would give us a better chance. And, I think it did. And most of that was just the nature of how much the golf course changed. And, Russell is a guy that hits a ton of fairways, and we just felt, I think, a little bit more length off the tee was important. And I obviously don't hit as many fairways as Russell. And so the rough this week wasn't as penal, I think, as we anticipated. And so when you see it in competition, I think that's part of the kind of ebbs and flows and of really team golf.
Dumb question, sorry for the follow-up. Do you ever, in those situations, go talk to the scouts guys, like the stats people, and get their opinion on that? Or is that more of like we're going to decide among ourselves?
No, I mean, first person I called was, I think I called Gary, and he didn't answer. So then I called Webb, and Webb answered. And we just talked through it for about 3 or 4 minutes. And I think he was in the room with you. And was one of the scouts in there? I don't even remember. But
I don't either.
Yeah. It was just one thing that Russell and I felt like could give us a better chance on Saturday, and we went with it. And, we did our best. I'd like to have that wedge shot on 18 back. And, I don't really have much to elaborate on that.
Dylan?
Yeah, for Cameron and Bryson, you guys had kind of opposite days, I guess, but both had pretty special matches coming down to 18. I was wondering if, you could each just take us through your experience of the day.
Yeah, obviously went through kind of a range of emotions just through the whole day. Got off to a good start and kind of felt like nothing could go wrong. And then Justin Rose started doing some interesting things, made some putts on me, and all of a sudden feels like I'm just going to give it away. And then, to have a putt there on 18 to get a full point for the team was all I could have asked for. Like all you guys have been saying, it was a day of trying to put a point on the board, and went through a lot of different things, but happy to have had that opportunity on the last hole.
Yeah, I mean, today I didn't get off to the best of starts, and Matt was playing really well. It's one of those situations where I didn't play bad. I just didn't have anything go my way. 3-putted 3, and just didn't really get anything going until number 8. He gave me a little glimmer of hope, and I took it. And, it was one of those situations where I just thought back to what Xander said. It's not over till the whistle blows, and I wasn't willing to give up for this team. They've been so amazing to me this week, and for however long I've known myself to be on this team. They've just been incredible, and I couldn't give up for these guys. And so my thought process was to just keep swimming, just keep moving, and keep fighting back. And I fought my ass off today for this team, for this country, and we all fought hard today. I mean, you can see it reflects in the leaderboard and what we did today. We're not quitters. We're not people to go down easy, and so proud to be a part of this team. And it was great to get a half point out of it. Wish I would have gotten a point though.
And Cameron, you've been clear kind of all summer just how much it would mean to be here at this golf course on this team. How did the reality match up?
It's been incredible. I mean, from the moment I got the call from Keegan, I feel like this group is incredibly close. We were incredibly driven to win this week, and I think that's been the coolest part of it for me, is to just be one of the 12 guys that's here playing for our country, playing for each other. That last bit there where we were making a run, I don't know about any of you guys, but I haven't felt anything like that playing golf before. I mean, that was truly unbelievable to watch. One after the other, just start making putts, fighting the way that they did. I've never seen anything like that, and I've never felt anything like that. Watching golf, playing golf, doesn't matter. So I think it's really just a testament to, how much it means to all of us to be here and how much we all want to play well for each other. It was truly unbelievable.
Finish up with one more with Adam.
Keegan, winning home and away is going to make Luke a legend as a Ryder Cup captain, but what specifically makes you think that he's the best one ever?
Well, I mean, he won home and away, and he won Ryder Cup in New York in Bethpage. I think Luke, I think he's an incredible leader. He's really quiet, and I think he was able to kind of come out of his shell, I guess, a little in these Ryder Cup years. And, I think he turned, this European team into like a really unstoppable force, especially the first 2 days. And, in my eyes, I think he's the best European Ryder Cup captain ever. And I was really excited to go up against him, but I knew it was going to be tough to beat him. And he put his team in the best position to win. And, to do that at these two places is, a remarkable feat.
And I know you're taking a lot of responsibility for the defeat. Is there anything that you point to as where you felt like he out-captained you?
I don't have no clue. No, don't know. I mean,
We need to
sure
make
he
more
did.
putts. That's what we needed. That's what Keegan needed to do. Make us make more putts. That's what he needed to do.
I don't.
That's right.
I think in a lot of ways, when you're the away captain, there's a lot less decisions. So when you're the home captain, you got to set up the course, and I wish I could have some of those decisions back. I definitely feel I made a few mistakes there, but it's tough to tell that it's going to rain before the Ryder Cup. It's tough to tell sort of the way the course is going to be when we're here. We didn't want the greens to be like this soft. They were perfect, but and the grounds crew did an incredible job. But I got to take responsibility for this outcome for sure.
Thanks for your time, guys.
Thank you.
What?
Oh, God. I'll tell you what, that seat is nice. I'll have a brownie if there is one, Cyril.
They're retaining the Ryder Cup.
I'm probably not.
Let's drink in about 2 months.
I've had 6 glasses of wine.
Now, I think I have more than that in the next hour.
Go on, Bobby. Here's the snacker.
Well, snacking time.
His voice is already gone.
His glasses there. Snap. Put them on, Tyrrell. Put them on. Tyrrell, put them on.
Huh? You wearing glasses?
Snacks.
Just giving you a word of advice.
I think I've had half a shake today.
I somehow got the shake down me going down the tank.
You're feeling it. Move. You look in the leaderboard and oh fuck, it's coming to me.
That's mega, mate. Congrats. That's amazing. That's a ledge.
I thought it was going to be over by about 3 minutes.
Yeah, couple pound coin, isn't it? Yeah. Big man on the side.
There's only 2 of us that nearly got scrapped this week.
Rambo getting the mic.
He's on.
Come on, Rambo.
Come on, Rambo.
He doesn't like beer.
I don't know. We'll find out if I like it right now.
Oh, yeah, sure, yeah.
Yeah, one beer, please.
Play.
That's all right.
There's Peroni's coming.
Good.
Stella Bosch.
We're pleased to be joined now by the European Ryder Cup team, led by Captain Luke Donald. We'll go ahead and jump right into questions. Starting with Sean, go ahead.
2 years ago, Rory, you seemed to call this shot. Why were you so confident then, and how does it feel to have been right?
It's nice to be right. I'm not right all the time. I have absolute confidence in this team, absolute confidence in our leader, Luke Donald, the vice captains, the backroom staff, the things that people don't see behind the scenes. I think we won in Rome, and the wheels were set in motion to try to do something that hadn't been done in over a decade. And as we talked today, 11 of the 12 on the team are the same. The captain's the same. We believed a lot in our continuity, and I believe that we had a really special group in Rome, and I felt like we had a real, I said that in the euphoria of winning a Ryder Cup, but I really felt like we had definitely way more of a chance than we had in Whistling Straits in 2021. So I was bullish about our chances, but this has just been a dream week, and it obviously was really tight there at the end. It was a bit stressful, but the big lad sitting one right to Luke played an unbelievable last 4 holes, and he carried me through the afternoon yesterday as well. Absolute legend, along with everyone else sitting up here, and just so happy that we could get it done.
Up here to Ryan.
Guys, congratulations, Rory, for you. The fans, I don't need, oh yeah, go ahead, take your time.
We leave?
Chug. You got any more? Over here. I don't need to tell you about the fans, obviously, but the question is, how do you pick and choose when to interact? Yesterday on 16 in the afternoon, I heard some guy who was like, Roy, you're not that good, and you said, I'm really effing good. So
I am.
I know you are.
Really good.
I know. But when do you pick and choose when to interact with the fans? Obviously, there's playful banter involved.
Honestly, I'd say it's just on impulse. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I'm quite an impulsive character, if you haven't noticed. And sometimes I'll engage, and sometimes I'll catch myself and refrain. But I don't really choose when, and it's sort of sometimes I do, sometimes I don't.
Would you be okay with another Ryder Cup in this area?
If the result was the same, absolutely.
Up to 18.
Luke in the back here. Keegan was in here a few minutes ago saying that he disagreed with the injury rule that impacted Victor and Harris and said that it should be changed by the next Ryder Cup. I wanted to get your thoughts, not on how it impacted today, but just on the rule in general.
I think it's been in place since 1971. The U.S. have used it before. I think it's happened in 1991 with Steve Pate. That was a tight Ryder Cup, too, 14.5, 13.5. It happened in 1993. Sam Torrance couldn't play with an injured toe. The U.S. won that one. It's just, we have contracts for a reason, a captain's agreement for a reason, for situations that occur. I want to center it back to Victor. I would have had absolute faith in him to deliver a point today. He couldn't play. He was gutted. He was close to tears to not be able to play. So the rule is the rule, and it's been in place for a long time.
Over here with Luke.
Congratulations, everyone. Justin, for the second, I'm just over here. For the second straight Ryder Cup, you've led everyone in putting, and yesterday you gained more strokes with your putter than the entirety in Rome. How do you do this? What's it like when you get into this superhero role?
So mature.
I wish I knew. I wish I could be a bit more selfish and know that 25 weeks of the year. But do you know what I mean? I feel like the power of this, the power of the group, who knows what it is, that ability to lock in, the ability to just want it that little bit more. I don't know. The answer to your question is I don't know, other than the badge and the boys, honestly. And yeah, that's all that matters. Yeah. The badge and the boys. Yeah.
The boys' badges.
I wish I putted better today, if I'm honest. Today I felt like I didn't putt as well, but you kind of live and die by the putter in match play, for sure. And there's always momentum swings with a putter. You make a long one, you steal something, you miss a short one, you gift something. There's a lot of pressure on the putter. Putter's a huge key, and obviously the way the golf course was set up this week as well, the putter was a very, very key club in the bag. And obviously, it worked beautifully for me for most of the week. And then I would say today, I would probably rue it a little bit, if I'm honest. So, you live and die by it.
Kevin?
John, I want to start this with you, John, but anybody else can pick it up after you're done. In America, we seem to be under a constant quest of what makes a good captain. We're still trying to figure it out. I'm curious what you think. What makes Luke such a good leader of men?
There's so many things that Luke has done outstandingly professionally, so perfect that it's hard to say one. Without getting too much into it, the level of professionalism he's showed us the last 4 years, his attention to detail and his pose and his knowledge of the Ryder Cup and the game and what we do on the golf course day in, day out was made these last 2 Ryder Cups possible. He's the captain of this ship, and he's led us better than I can see anybody leading us. He set the bar extremely high for the future captains.
Anybody else interested in following that? What do you think makes Luke as good as he is?
Just have a good 12 guys.
No, it's more than that. His communication skills.
Let's not give it away.
Yeah, he's all right.
I'll shut up. No, I think look, he.
How about that?
Let it be, Rory. Let it be.
The thing that's most inspiring, though, is to see him how he's grown as a leader as well. I think over the course of 4 years,
2 more
the incredible commitment to himself and therefore the team has been unbelievable to witness.
Ireland.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kyle?
No comment.
I'll throw it back to you, Luke. I think often, to kind of follow up what KVV was saying, with the Americans, they say, well, the Europeans just played better, they made more putts, etc. The more often that happens, the more it seems like the 2-year buildup to that, all the attention to detail, all the infrastructure you guys have in place, is why you play better. It's why you make more putts. Can you speak to what that attention to detail is like in that lead up to the Ryder Cup?
Yeah, I really have committed myself to this job because I feel I owe it to the players and I owe it to the Ryder Cup, which has been so special to me. I've had so many incredible experiences. So, yeah, I've had to kind of put my own game a little bit to the side, and every day I'm trying to think about things that could help us, come up with different things that might just give us a little edge. We came into this in New York. We knew New York was not going to be easy. It was rough. It was brutal at times out there. It really was. It was nasty sometimes. But I think when you prep these guys enough and you communicate enough with these guys, and you give them a plan and an idea and a theme and a motivation. They don't really need motivating, but the theme kind of causes the cohesion of the team. And I was very fortunate to have 11 of the same guys from Rome, but and brother. My job is, literally to give these guys a better chance to win, and can be as simple as some very small things. You know, I'll give you an example. At the hotel rooms this week, the doors to our hotel rooms had a big crack, and it let in light. We brought things that covered the light. We put different shampoos that had a better smell. We had the
labo, if anyone's wondering, really nice. Really nice.
We changed the bedding because the beds weren't very good, and they just had sheets, and we created a much nicer bed so guys could sleep. They could have more energy. So those are just little things, but I mean, I'm going into some really small details, but.
Snacks for everyone.
I'll
tell you what, they won't need to change the bed linen in their manner. Let me tell
No.
you that.
1,500 a night. But it's just taking the time and having the care that you want to do everything you can to kind of give these guys the best opportunity. You want to create an environment where they can succeed. These are 12 amazing players. We know that. So you're just trying to, again, put them in a position where they feel comfortable.
Dylan?
Yeah, Ludwig, 2 years ago, you were a pretty fresh face as a pro. Yesterday probably wasn't your favorite day. Today, you ended up with the only blue flag on the board. What did this week and today mean to you?
Last time in Rome, it was sort of a whirlwind for me. Obviously, just turned pro a couple of months prior, but felt a little bit more comfortable this week, I guess, knowing a little bit more what to expect. But yeah, today I was proud of the way that I played, and I'm proud of, being a part of this team. There's 11 guys that have tremendous joy to have been a part of, and a captain that I'm so happy that he put trust in me, and I'm just trying to repay that by playing good golf. Today is a day that I'm going to remember for a very, very long time.
James?
Shane, you had the winning moment today. I guess I'm wondering when you woke up this morning if you thought there was any chance that you would be the guy to finish it out. And if you could just take us into that moment on 18, what was going through your head?
Yeah, you only retained it, Shane.
Just calm down.
Tyrrell won us the Ryder Cup, by the way. But like, it was a bit of two-pull from 10.
Gosh, Shane.
To be honest, no. Like, obviously I have faith in my team to go out, and I thought we were going to win the Ryder Cup early today. But it's not that we weren't all going out to win our own match. That was the main goal. And look, Luke, we were well prepped on that last night. Like, you don't want to take any complacency out there to that arena against those players. Like, the US team are 12 amazing players, and we knew it was going to be very hard. But I didn't envision myself going up the 18th, needing a birdie to retain the Ryder Cup. It was, like the worst 2 hours of my life. It was horrible. Honestly, it was. But I said to my caddy walking down 18, I said, I've got an opportunity to do the greatest thing I've ever done today, and I did it, and I'm very proud of myself. And,
Up here to Adam.
Rory, obviously between winning the Masters and today, you've been a part of some seriously emotional final days. I'm just curious about how you manage your emotions in big moments.
You try to, you have, something in your way or something ahead of you, and you just try to, for me, the easiest thing is just to break it down into smaller pieces. So, as much of it as is a cliche, whether it's one shot at a time. Today it was, honestly, it was like 1 foot in front of the other. I felt like I was running on empty today. I give so much of myself the first 2 days, and I tried as hard as I could out there against Scott. Scotty and I both didn't have our best. It was a bit of a pillow fight, if I'm honest. But I dug in as much as I could. I held that putt on 15, and but yeah, I just tried to stay on my own little bubble as much as possible. It was obviously quite difficult to do that at times, but I just knew every hole that I completed was a little bit closer to that goal that we all had in mind, and that was really the important thing. I was so appreciative to the VCs and Luke and everyone that was out there. Thomas Bjorn walked with me a lot today, and he kept encouraging me. He kept just saying 7 more holes, 6 more holes, 5 more holes, and just to know that you've got that support of your team, it means a lot, especially in an environment like that out there.
Adam Strupak.
A question for Zeb. You had some exciting, stressful weeks. Now you're daddy of 2 boys and of 2 Ryder Cups. Ryder Cups. How does it sound for you? How does it feel?
It's unbelievable. The last couple of months have been a bit of a roller coaster for my wife and I. Little Thomas is doing well. He's in the hospital, but he's doing well. And these guys, Luke and everybody, has been so unbelievable in supporting me. And I can't thank everybody enough for the support that you guys have shown me throughout this whole thing. Cannot thank everybody enough.
Congrats from Austria.
Adam.
Luke, over. If you're asked to do this, if you're asked to do 2 more years, what's your answer?
2 more years.
Mine says I'm going to enjoy tonight.
All right. Justin was the leader in strokes gained putting, but who's going to be the leader in strokes gained partying tonight?
Sepp. Sepp will stay undefeated.
Yeah. I don't know. In Rome, I was leaving for the airport, and I still saw Tyrrell.
People think it's me, but I'll be done early.
No. Sepp, hands down.
We'll have some fun.
It's Austrian blood.
Rosie. Dark horse in the back right.
I got a bit scared of myself after 2018.
Fitzy has to do his note the first time.
Fitzy has to fill in his stat sheet from today.
Alan.
This is for Luke, right over here to your left. Europe dominated last decade. You guys are in position to do that again this decade. The sort of key connector between those eras is Rory. What does he mean to this team? Not just
you guys told us we wouldn't win one for 20 years, though.
What about that decade of dominance, Alan?
No.
Well, I failed to factor in the captains and what a big difference they make. And what does Rory mean to you guys? Not just his play, but his leadership and his confidence and all that intangibles.
Look, you need your big players to step up. Looking at Rome, Victor was our FedEx Cup champ. We had Rory, we had John. They had 10.5 points without playing together once in Rome. This week, Rory's won 4 out of 5. John, 3 out of 5.
It's my fault.
You argue Tommy maybe is, 4 out of 5. Go on, Tommy.
Go on, Tommy.
You absolutely need your big guns to fire, and I think that's what we're proud of is that the U.S. guys, big guys, the guns, they didn't get as many points as ours. And Rory has made no qualms about how important the Ryder Cup is to him. And I think that's inspiring to me. It's inspiring to his team. Maybe not quite on the same level as winning the Grand Slam and the Masters, but it's pretty effing close. It really is. He's talked to me about it many times, about how he wants to win an away Ryder Cup and how difficult that is. So to have someone
of Rory's caliber fighting so hard, that's inspiring for the team. And, see, we can't do it alone, but it's very helpful when, someone like Rory is contributing like he does.
I mean, just related to that, when we talk about a player's place in history, it's always individual achievements. But if Rory wins 8 or 9 Ryder Cups, if he goes on to be the leading point earner, like, how does that elevate him in the conversation?
The Ryder Cup weeks are the best weeks of our lives. We talk about this all the time. Those individual accolades are fun. We individually we want to achieve as much as we can. Rory has achieved so much in the game. His place in history is set. But I think those weeks we spend together are the ones we remember the most and we cherish the most because of the times we get to spend with each other. That's a big part of my captaincy, is to create an environment where these guys having the best weeks of their lives, honestly. We'll always remember this. We'll always go down in history. We talk about all the people that came before us, that paved the way for us. Now future generations will talk about this team tonight and what they did and how they were able to overcome one of the toughest environments in all of sport. And that is inspiring to me. And that's what Rory gets and all these other 11 guys get as well.
Up to 13.
Rory, sorry here. How sustainable for the game of golf is the level of abuse that you and others I know but received this weekend? I mean, is it something that you just have to accept, or is it something that's taking the game in a dangerous direction?
No, I don't think we should ever accept that in golf. I think golf should be held to a higher standard than what was seen out there this week. Golf has the ability to unite people. Golf teaches you very good life lessons. It teaches you etiquette. It teaches you how to play by the rules. It teaches you how to respect people. And sometimes this week we didn't see that. So, no, this should not be what is acceptable in the Ryder Cup. But, we will be making sure to say to our fans in Ireland in 2027 that, what happened here this week is not acceptable. And it's, for me, it's, come and support your home team. Come and support your team. I think if I was an American, I would be annoyed that I didn't hear a lot of shouts for Scotty today, but I heard a lot of shouts against me. And it's like, support your players. That's the thing. So, look, it was a rough week for all of us. But at the same time, we shut them up by our performance and how we played, and we tried to, I chirped back a few times because it got to me a few times, but we tried to handle everything that came our way with class and poise, and for the most part, I felt like we did that.
Mike 12. You have a question?
Well, I was going to ask a similar question to Ollie, really, but when you've got police dogs and the police coming in, were you aware when that was happening? And have you ever seen anything quite like that on a golf course before when you've been playing?
Wish they had to let the dogs off the leashes. No, honestly, like the amount, like the police out there and the amount of the security presence was insane. And it's not, look, nothing was going to happen where there wasn't really going to be any sort of physical altercation or anything like that, apart from maybe Tommy and Rosie up to the 16th tee yesterday. But look, there was a lot of language that was unacceptable and abusive behavior. And but look, it's a minority of the crowd. It's not the majority. The majority of people here are true golf fans and are respectful, and let both teams have the same chance to hit the shots and play a fair contest. But there was a small subset of people that behaved a little bit differently than that.
Up to 19.
Rory, it's one thing when the abuse is directed at you guys as players. That's bad enough. But it seemed to spill over to sort of friends and family, the entourages of you guys. Obviously, there was a lot of people inside the ropes this week, but videos come out yesterday of a beer being thrown at your wife. Firstly, is she okay? She seemed upset, obviously, after that. That's obviously something no one wants to go through.
Yeah.
What was your view on that situation and just, the direction of this event as a whole with that in mind, that families don't feel comfortable inside the ropes?
I mean, it's it should be off limits, but obviously it wasn't this week. But Erica's fine. She is a very, very strong woman, and she handled everything this week with class and poise and dignity, like she always has. And I love her, and we're going to have a good time celebrating tonight.
Can I just pick up on that, if you don't mind? Because I actually had no idea that Erica had a beer thrown at her yesterday. So fair play to Erica. She didn't bring that to the team room. We didn't make that a big deal. That's news to me, that says a lot about the strength of Erica and everybody in this team. That
I was out there.
Taking those
I was out there
So
for
that-
2 days
I
with
didn't know
Erica
that
McElroy, and the amount of abuse that she received was astonishing. And the way she was out there supporting her husband and supporting her team was unbelievable. And kudos to her for that.
Go on, Erica.
And Rory, with all that in mind, everything you go through, how satisfying is it to turn around to someone and say, quote, "Shut the F up," and then stiff it to 2 feet?
Very fucking satisfying.
Congratulations.
It wasn't stiff. It wasn't stiff. I had to put it.
Anyone got a question for the FedEx Cup champ now?
Yeah. Tommy, what did you see over that putt?
What did I what?
What did you see over that putt that Rory left you with?
Right edge?
Right centre. Just pushed it in
Too
the right
busy
side.
counting all that money from the FedEx Cup.
Mike 6.
Yeah, Luke, Rory and Shane together looks like a no-brainer on paper. Was it a plan that you had for a long time? And how important was that role Shane played for Rory yesterday? He was like the big brother and the bouncer and the security guard and everything else rolled into one.
Well, our plan for Friday was pretty set pretty early on. You obviously sometimes have to make adjustments, but we felt everyone was playing well. Everyone had an opportunity to play and contribute to the team, and we were excited about the team we had and the form they were in and how close they were. Obviously, Shane and Rory hadn't played together in a Ryder Cup before, right?
We played about 15 holes in Whistling Straits.
It was very unforgettable.
Don't even remember that.
I just need another one of these.
But again,
We ran out.
yeah, these pairings.
See, he doesn't know everything.
I got to give a lot of props to Eduardo. Eduardo and I sit down and we chat for many, many hours about all the kinds of different stats and the pairings and the personalities and the course fits. And, when you have a partnership like Rory and Shane, they get along obviously amazingly well. And, I think in four balls, that's really important. But it was a pretty natural pairing. I think everyone wants to play with Rory.
Yep.
There's not many people, when I say anyone you don't want to play with, Rory's name doesn't come up very often. So, and to be honest, none of these guys' names come up very often. Often the answer is, I'll play with anyone. And that's what makes me proud as a leader. It's just the cohesion we have, the unity we have. It makes making pairings quite easy because they all have each other's backs. And if I come up to them and say, "What do you think about this?" They're like, "I trust in you, Luke.
let's go with it. So, again, that is a nice thing to have. It's nice to not have those big egos in the team room.
We'll finish up over here with Gabby.
Luke, you mentioned there was a theme of the week. I was just wondering, can you share what that theme was?
Well, our theme was we were trying to win for a 5th time away. The practice. We talked about it at the beginning of the week. The practice shirts were based off the wins we'd already had away: 87, 95, 04, 2012. 2012. Everything we did was sort of centered around that, and to
I'm a fucking moron, apparently.
make the guys feel that we had done it quite often. In 10 Ryder Cups since '83, we'd won 4 of them, and we come damn close 3 other times. So this wasn't an impossible task. We knew it was going to be difficult, but you want to inspire them to know that it can be done. My job, again, is to give them the reasons to make them believe that they can win. And so that was really our theme.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.